Hello everybody, welcome to Japanese Easy Study channel. Today we are going to learn about the grammar in Japanese language. Japanese language proficiency test. Or we say in Japanese, 日本語能力試験19. The grammar that we are going to learn today, we'll talk about grammar とすれば. The grammar of とすれば has the meaning that in the case of assuming or if A then B. So in Japanese, you can use とすれば with the verb, the noun, adjective, adjective. But when you use with the verb, you should change the verb to be the casual form as you see here. And when you use the noun, you should, after the noun, you should follow by da, and after followed by to sureba. And na is just the same as now. After adjective, you should follow by da, and then followed by to sureba. And for adjective, you don't need to change anything. You can use it that way. And as you see here, after the verb noun and na or adjective, you can use by to sureba or to shitara or to suruto. It just has the same meaning, so you don't need to be confused. In Japanese, it has many ways to say in the same meaning in English. As you see here, to sureba, to suruto, to shitara. It just has the same meaning that in the case of ... or assuming ... or A and then B, as you see here. So don't be confused as when you learn Japanese. So the next we are going to see some example of how to use the grammar of to sureba or to shitara or to suruto. The first example is say 選ぶとすれば僕はこれだな。選ぶとすれば僕はこれだな。Which means that if I were to choose, I would go to this. If I were to choose, I would go with this. Let's see the student example. They say 1日25時間だとしたら何をしますか ?1 日25時間だとしたら何をしますか Which means that if there were 25 hours in a day, what would you do? If there were 25 hours in a day, what would you do? Let's consider the first example in here. The first example in here, they use the verb 選ぶ with the grammar とすれば, right? So when you use the verb can be the casual form. In this case, is in the dictionary form. So no problem for this one. 選ぶとすれば is mean that if I were to choose, right? 僕はこれだな. I would go with this, or I will choose this one, something like this. And for the second sentence, they say 1日25時間だとしたら25時間 is mean 25 hours. And is the noun. So after the noun, you should follow by da. And after that, follow by to shitara, something like this. So it means that 1日25時間だとしたら which means that if one day have 25 hours, something like this. Is just suppose something like this. 何をしますか? What would you do? Or why are you going to do something like it? But actually, one day just have only 24 hours, right? But you just make it to be example only, so no problem. You can say 1日25時間だとしたら which means that suppose there were 25 hours in a day, something like this. So for the second sentence they use to Sureba, but this first sentence they use to Sureba, but the second sentence they use to shitara. It just had the same meaning that if A and then B, or if something then something like this. The next example, they say もし車を買い替えるとすれば次はアメリカの車が欲しい。もし車を買い替えるとすれば次はアメリカの車が欲しい。Which means that if I were to buy a new car, I want to get an American car. If I were to buy a new car, I want to get an American car. In this sentence, you see that they use with the verb. In here, our verb is kaikaeru, is in the dictionary form. So when the word in the dictionary form, you don't need to change anything, right? And after it, just followed by to sureba or to shitara or to suruto. But in this case, they use in the case that use the grammar of to sureba. So that means if like I were to buy a new car, moshi kuruma o kaikaeru to sureba, which means that if I were to buy a new car, 次はアメリカの車が欲しい。I won't want to get an American car. Next example. 電車で行くとしたら時間はどのぐらいかかりますか？電車で行くとしたら時間はどのぐらいかかりますか？ Which means that assuming we go by train, about how much time it take. Assuming we go by train, about how much time will it take. In this sentence, we see that they also use the verb with the grammar to shitara. In this case, they use the verb iku. Iku is mean go, right? Go someplace. And after iku, they follow by to shitara, which means that assuming or if, right? 電車で行くとしたら which means that assuming we go by train or if we go by train. Just the same meaning. 時間はどのぐらいかかりますか? How much the time you cost, right? How much is the time? So in this case, they use the verb in the dictionary form. The next, we are going to learn about the grammar of Tomoni. The grammar of Tomoni is had the meaning that together with, or at the time, or at the same time as, or as well as something. And in Japanese, when used the grammar of Tomoni, it had the meaning that together with, at the same time as, or as well as. But when you use have the structure you see here, you can use with the verb in the dictionary form and the noun. That means you should start by the verb and the noun. But when you use the verb, you should change the verb to be the dictionary form. And when you use the noun, you don't need to change anything. You just use, and after that followed by Tomoni. So the next we are going to see some example together to make more understand about how to use the grammar of Tomoni. The first example is say, 私の人生はギターと共にある。私の人生はギターと共にある。Which means that I spend my life together with my guitar. I spend my life together with my guitar. In this sentence, you see that they use the noun, right, with the grammar totomoni. In our noun in here is guitar, right? Guitar is the noun. And you will use totomoni when somebody with another thing together, and it had a meaning that somebody with something or somebody with somebody or two things together. You can use in this case. So in this sentence, say, 私の人生はギターと共にある which means I spend my life together with my guitar. That means you enjoy, you fun with the guitar together, right? You and the guitar together. So you can say と共にある. The next example is say, 春が近づくとともに少しずつ暖かくなってきた。春が近づくとともに少しずつ暖かくなってきた。Which means that as spring grows nearer, it's gradually getting a bit warmer. As spring grows nearer, it's gradually getting a bit warmer. In this sentence, you see that they also use the verb. In here, our verb is jikazuku, right? Jikazuku, and after that, they followed by totomoni. Jikazuku is mean near. 春が近づくとともに少しずつ暖かくなってきた which means that the spring, right, coming, and in the same time is gradually getting a bit warmer and warmer, something like this in this sentence, meaning that. So that means you use totomoni when two things happen together. In here, the spring is happen, right? And at the same time, it's also gradually get warmer and warmer together, right? So in the same the situation like this, you can use totomoni, which means two things happen at the same time. The next example. 私は政府と共に仕事をする。私は政府と共に仕事をする。Which means that I will work together with the government. I will work together with the government. This sentence they use with they use the noun with the grammar of totomoni. Now here is Seifu, right? Seifu is mean the government. Seifu totomoni, which mean that together with the government. Shigoto o suru, which mean two things happen together. One thing is I, right? And another thing is the government. So when you and the government work together, you can say totomoni, which means two things work together. And in Japan you can say 私は政府と共に仕事をする which means that I will work together with the government. The next example 私は家族と共に2年間外国で暮らした。私は家族と共に2年間外国で暮らした。which means that I live abroad together with my family for 2 years. I live abroad together with my family for 2 years. In this sentence, we also see that they use the noun with the grammar totomoni. In here, our noun is kazoku. Kazoku is mean the family, right? And they say kazoku totomoni, which mean I and my family. In here, 私 which mean I, 家族 which mean my family, right? Totomoni which mean together with my family, I and my family together. 2年間外国で暮らした which mean that I live abroad together with my family for 2 years. That means I and my family, which mean two things happen in the same time. So you can use totomoni, which mean I and my family live together in foreign country or in abroad. So I hope that you understand about how to use the grammar of totomoni. When you use the totomoni, it means that two things happen in the same time. Or two things work together or go together in the same time. So don't forget when you use totomoni, you can use the verb and the noun only. The next we are going to learn about the grammar of tochu de or tochu ni. The grammar of tochu de or tochu ni is meaning that on the way or in the middle of that or something. That means that some situation happen in the middle of the complete situation. In here, you see in here, when you use the grammar of tochu de or tochu ni, you can use the verb and the noun as you see here. For the verb, you should use with the change the verb to be the dictionary form. And the noun, you should, after the noun, you should follow by no, and then you can follow by tochu de or tochu ni, just depend to the situation. So you can use the verb and the noun with tochu de or tochu ni. It just has the same meaning. And when they use tochu de or tochu ni, they use when some situation or some case that happen in the middle of the complete situation. You see here they say on the way, right, or in the middle of that or something. So now let's see some sample together. 私は駅から学校に行く途中で先生に会った。私は駅から学校に行く途中で先生に会った。Which means that I saw my teacher on the way to school from the station. I saw my teacher on the way to school from the station. In this sentence, you see that they use the verb, right? In here, our verb is iku. Iku is mean go, right? Iku, and after that, they use tochu de. That means you use the verb iku is in the dictionary form and followed by tochu de And you will see that what happened when why they use tochu. In here they say 私は駅から学校へ行く途中で先生に会った which means that this situation happened when you go to school, but on the way, in the middle of the way to the school, you met your teacher, or or you saw your teacher, right? So this situation happened on the way you go to school, not in school or not from your house. So they will use tochu in the case like this. The next, 彼は帰宅途中で事故があった。彼は帰宅途中で事故があった。Which means that he had an accident on his way home. He had an accident on his way home. In this sentence, they use 帰宅途中で In here, you see that they use the noun, right? In how now in here is mean kitaku. Kitaku is mean come back home, but it is the noun. So sorry, it's not the noun, right? It's the verb, but in here kitaku is mean come back home. And after that, they follow by tochu. De kitaku tochu de is mean that when you come back home, right? And some accident happen. So in Japanese, you can say 彼は帰宅途中で事故があった。Next example、学校に来る途中で財布を忘れたのは気づいた。学校に来る途中で財布を忘れたのは気づいた。Which means that I noticed that I forgot my wallet on my way to school. I noticed that I forgot my wallet on my way to school. In here we see that they say 学校に来る途中で You see that they use the verb. In here, the verb out here is kuru. Kuru is mean come. That means now you are in the school. Kuru tochu, which means that on the way to the school, right? 財布を忘れたのは気づいた which means that forgot my wallet on the way to the school. That means the situation that happened when it's not the school or it's not your house, but when you on the way to the school, right? And in the case like that, you feel that you forgot your wallet at home. So the situation like this, you can say kuru tochu de, right? The next example, 勉強の途中でお菓子を食べた。勉強の途中でお菓子を食べた。Which means that I ate some sweets in the middle of when I was studying. I ate some sweets in the middle of when I was studying. In here you see that they use the noun. In a noun in here is 勉強. After the noun they use no, right? And after the no they follow by tochu, which means they use the noun in here is 勉強. 勉強の途中 this means if you study 1 hour, that means about 30 minutes, right? Or 20 minutes in the time that you eat the sweet. That means you study and you eat the sweet on the way that you study. So in Japanese you can say 勉強の途中でお菓子を食べた which means that you eat the sweet in the middle of when you first studying. So I hope that you understand about how to use the grammar of 途中で is very easy. You can use 途中 which means some situation that happen in the way to some destination. So thank you very much for watching my video clip, and please help me subscribe my channel if you haven't. I hope to see you about learning Japanese in the next video clip. ありがとうございました。